as the photographers, is it going to take us?
We're live. Okay, hello. Welcome to the Extinction Rebellion live stream. We are here at Windsor Castle for the second day of Upgrade Democracy, and lots of exciting things are happening at the castle gate. So let's walk on over there and find out what's happening. So for those of you who missed yesterday, this is the second day of Upgrade Democracy, or as I like to call it, our democracy boot camp. It's basically 2 days of, 3 days even, of learning about the current political system, why it's failing us, and how we're going to improve it and what we can do to improve it. So it's very exciting. I'll get us to turn around now because exciting things are happening here at the castle gate. So as you can see, here we are at Windsor Castle, and let's get you a bit closer to the action. So here you can see the pink post box. We'll move a bit this way. You can see the pink post box. You go stand here. That lots of people have been writing letters. Lots of people have been writing letters to the king, asking him to help us protect the planet, protect the climate, and help us push for this upgrade to democracy to get ordinary citizens involved in the decision making on issues that affect all of us. And Etienne Stott is just holding a speech, so we're going to go and try and find him now so we can listen to what he's saying. So we'll go that way.
Politicians are frankly too scared to handle or see incapable of handling. Citizens' assemblies have been used around the world, bringing people together to come up with ingenious and equitable solutions to these tasks that politicians fear. And our demand to upgrade democracy is our third demand, Extinction Rebellion's third demand. Our first demand, tell the truth. Second, act now. And the third is called decide together. And our third demand for the Citizens' Assembly, Citizens' Assemblies, for some of you who might not know, and some of you almost certainly will, is where we go through a process of sortition. We get a random sample of the UK population. It goes through a process called sortition, that sample where it's turned into a representative sample of the UK population based on age, ethnicity, gender, socioeconomic background, educational background. And therefore, what we get is a snapshot of society at that point. And then those people, something like 100 people, are brought together, given briefings on from the actual forefront of the situation, from people who really know what they talk about, engineers, scientists, any expert, and the assembly can call people to come and speak as well. And this assembly, it's worth noting, is independently set up. It's nothing, again, to do with Extinction Rebellion. We are demanding this to be set up. We don't want to be a part of it. We want to trust the people who are selected at random to be a part. And then they would get to discussing what we could do about this situation, how we can deal, how we can come up with ways of tackling the situation we find ourselves in. Because we know already our ecosystem. You can look around the world right now and see floods in Africa, fires in Greece. I don't know, some of you might not realise, and I found this out the other day very shockingly, in this country, the average annual grocery shop for a family has gone up by £360 attributable to the bad harvest and extreme weather. So £360 extra already in this country. It's almost an invisible effect, but a climate nature emergency is here with us today. So I'm just going to invite us here just for a moment before we get towards delivering this letter. We didn't have a little bit of time getting organised and everything like that, but I thought it'd be nice to offer 3 invitations to you, and also 3 invitations to the people of Windsor and to the people who are visiting Windsor today. The first invitation would be for you to bring to mind some people or persons that you care about. I'm going to give you around about a minute just to consider those people. Bring their faces to mind. Bring the way that they make you feel into your heart. Summon a little kind of vision and a little kind of moment in your heart and mind of those people that you care about the most. And I'd also invite you to think about other people that you don't know, people beyond the shores that we're living in here, also people that are beyond the times that we're living here, our future ancestors, the people who are not yet born, the people who are young, who don't even know what's going on yet in the world. I'd like to bring them to mind and just think about, because we are here for them. We are here for us, and we are here for them, for beings alive now and beings who will be alive in the future. So let's just take a little moment, hearing the flags flapping in the wind, and let's just take a little moment about those people and those beings. Okay, now I invite you, with that feeling in your heart of those people who you care about the most, and extending that feeling of care across our beautiful planet. Now I would invite you, and I would invite the people of Windsor, the people here watching, wondering what this is all about. I would invite you to consider and hold in your mind, hold in your heart, some of the beautiful places in the world that you know of. Maybe you've seen them on TV, been to them yourself. You can imagine them without even having seen them. Imagine the diversity and beauty of life, the abundance of life in those places that have not yet been marked and marred by the touch of human beings. Consider for a moment those places. Let's try and bring them to mind, bring them to our heart, knowing that we are here for those places, for those beings that inhabit those places, and in the hope that we can preserve as much of those places into the future. So just to think about that. Very much. I hope you've managed to feel something there, really feel. And now I would like to offer to the people in this group here who consider themselves to be rebels, who consider themselves to be earth protectors. I invite you to consider some of those people who currently, of our number, who are in our broader movement, who are currently in prison or on remand, waiting for their terms to end, or perhaps waiting for trials to come. I invite you to consider those people living under punitive bail conditions. I invite you to think about people struggling financially because of civil injunctions, the costs that they've been heaped upon them. I invite you to consider those people for a little while. I also invite us all to consider those earth protectors around the world right now, who perhaps not as privileged as we are, who are out there in some of the most dangerous, difficult parts of the world, whose lives are far more difficult and brutal than ours, who are being forced into choices that perhaps none of us would want to make. Let us take a little moment to consider them. think about them, hold them in our hearts just for a short time. And now I don't know if there's never quite enough time to do that, but I hope that that helps us to connect with the reason that we're here, this work, doing this stuff that perhaps doesn't necessarily make sense to everybody who's, but we are here for those reasons. And we are here in Windsor and asking people who are watching us and people, the guests in Windsor, to understand and to connect the truth that we are good people, kind, respectful, for reasons, justice, kindness, not as we are portrayed in the press far too frequently. I'm not even going to dignify some of those misrepresentations right now. But I do want to explain something a little personal from me, because I think sometimes in these last few days and maybe in these last few years, I sometimes feel anger and resentment rising inside me. Sometimes I feel very bitter about the way that we are being treated and the way that our cause and our movement is being treated. The way that the reasons that we're being here are misrepresented, this really important purpose. And sometimes I feel dark emotions inside me, and they are part of me, and maybe they are part of you as well. But we know in Extinction Rebellion, we know the power of love. We know the power of love in action. And I believe that's why I'm here today. And I'm always trying to reconnect with that feeling. We are here for everyone, and we are here for all things into the future to try to protect them. And we cannot give in to those forces that exist within us, but also without us, that would disfigure us, that would disconnect us from our humanity, that would destroy and damage our relationships we're close to, but also the relationships that we have in the wider world. So I invite you to feel that for a moment. Feel that love, because we are here for noble reasons. And that to me is super, super important. We're proud of who we are and why we are here. So I just want to say a quick Extinction Rebellion! Let's do it a bit louder. Extinction Rebellion! Extinction Rebellion! And are we proud to be here? Yes! All right, so we are here. Part of the reason we're here is to deliver the mail. And some of you will have seen, hopefully all of you will have seen, the beautiful pink post box, which contains many letters of doing things where one thing and automatically that has to say the opposite. These are not suited to times of climate and ecological emergency. We need that long-term thinking. We need to free ourselves. We need to free our system of the vested interests who have far too much influence on our political decisions. The fossil fuel lobby, the polluting industries who have pervaded and put their tentacles all through our system. We also have to think about our justice system, how it is criminalizing people, sometimes for terms of up to 4 or 5 years, just for telling the truth, just for trying to stand up for a future that is livable. Young people simply wanting a future, doing the bravest things just to try to have a livable future. And our media system, as many of you will have seen, and I have felt up front and quite close, our media system, our democracy only really works when the citizens are well informed, when people understand what's going on. And our media system is misrepresenting the climate and ecological emergency, pretending and not conveying the true severity and urgency. And it also willfully, it would seem, and certainly in certain corners, absolutely willfully, portrays us as fringe fanatics, people who are unfit to do what we're doing, ridiculing us, making us out to be bad people, talking about how we're hypocrites, and all these sorts of things that degrade and belittle us. And that is also a sign of a system that is not working, because the democracy cannot function without well-informed citizens and without our media doing its job, telling the truth, conveying important realities of the world. So we need a citizens' assembly on climate and ecological justice as an antidote to this, offering as a message of hope, an alternative way of doing things, an addition that could actually break through this horrendous logjam that we have right now. And we're here in front of Windsor Castle, a seat of power of the old way of doing things. And we are saying now we need a new way of doing things, this upgrade to democracy. These letters that have been delivered, put into the letterbox here, are representations of people's thoughts, inviting the king, who we know has grave concerns and has been outspoken about his concerns for the environment. But in fact, he holds very little power in our political system right now. And in fact, I would argue he holds far less power than the fossil fuel interest and the fossil fuel companies and the polluting industries that absolutely are turning policies that are against life, that are against our futures into reality. So those letters here are going to be delivered, and hopefully the king will at least pick them up and read them at some point, and he will know that we are out here doing our work, and we encourage him to be as brave as he can. After all, he's the king, right? He could pretty much do what he wants within certain boundaries. I'm sure he could do a bit more for us as well and speak out for the planet. Well, those letters in that letterbox represent our hopes, our desires, and our demands for a future upgrade to democracy that will change the way we're doing things and create the action, equitable, ingenious plans to tackle the effects of the climate and ecological emergency, to mitigate their effects on our society, but also to put Great Britain and the United Kingdom in a leadership position where it can show what a country looks like when it's taking this situation seriously. So, thank you. Let's have some grown-ups in charge, indeed. So, what time are we on? 12:10. I'm just going to take a little break for us just to figure out what's going on. And we're please inviting you just to sit and chat to each other, talk to each other a little bit. Remember, we have inviting all the residents. My mind added to it. 2:30, we're going to have lunch, but for now, let's just hang around here and we're going to make sure we get everything just right in terms of delivering this letter. Hopefully, they will accept our letter. I'm not especially hopeful, but it is a symbolic moment that we can leave the letters. The well-held concerns of UK citizens need to be heard. So just let's pause for a moment. But thank you, everybody, for listening. Let's just get one more extinction. I've got one more extinction! All right. Give us a few minutes.
So that was Etienne Stott, the crowd here at. That was Etienne Stott speaking to the crowd here at Windsor Castle. So we are about to deliver lots and lots of letters from rebels, young and old, and everything in between, who have been expressing their hopes, their individual hopes and dreams for the future to King Charles. And we hope sincerely that he will read them and that he will take courage from our words, that we are there, we are on the same page. He can be brave and speak out about the climate and ecological emergency, and he can be firm about what the people want. We know that people are concerned about the climate and ecological emergency. We know that the government isn't doing enough. In fact, they are actively doing things to harm our planet and to add to climate and ecological breakdown. So we want him to know that we are here to say we don't want that either. We're sure he doesn't want that either. So we hope that he'll get those messages from us. And yeah, so everybody here now is standing in front of the castle gates. We are just going to have a little bit of a break. Everyone's obviously trying to sort out you know, what we're doing, where the mailbox is going, and then I think we're going to move on to the long walk later. But yeah, we'll let you just take in the atmosphere a little bit, and we'll go and find some people to talk to and be with you in a moment. So yeah, feel free to have a look around.
Upgrade Democracy is our effort at improving the democracy which is no longer working for us, and we're having a mass assembly involving as many people as possible, discussing all different ways that we might improve democracy. Yeah.
What's the plan today?
The plan today is we're going to march into Windsor, and then we're going to be in groups of 6, and we're going to discuss different ways, and then those ideas are going to be put to the larger group. So we're trying to involve as many people as possible in hearing about different ways of having democracy, and then thinking about what would be best suited to our current situation.
Anything else you want to add?
I hope it's going to be interesting, and whatever happens, it's lovely to have so many people together to try and improve the way we govern this country in order to improve our environment.
No such thing as the free press anymore. The dirty fossil fuel industry pays me to lie to everybody. Give me your dirty money and I will convince you to even drink oil. Give it to your children. Who cares about free press when you can buy it with dirty money? Who cares about fresh air? Who cares about your children's lives? Let them drink oil. Let them reap the benefits of a polluted earth.
Hi, so we're here today with Upgrade Democracy. We're about to march up to the palace and not palace, castle. We will be going into the roads first to make sure it's nice and safe for all the marchers as they go past. Yeah, that's about it really. Describe what's going on today and why.
So I'm here at Upgrade Democracy. It's Extinction Rebellion's weekend of action here at Windsor Castle, and we're here to call for an upgrade to our whole democratic system, which is completely incapable of meeting the challenges that we face, such as the climate and ecological crisis and social crises. And we can see like very little has changed since the general election, and that our supposed democratic system is fundamentally flawed, partly because of the whole system of having elections every 5 years, that politicians are always thinking about the next election and being electable rather than taking on the big challenges that we face. They're also in the pay pockets of oil companies and other corporations, being influenced by lobbyists and shady think tanks. and yeah, lots of other reasons why they're not responsive to ordinary people, to the citizens. And we're particularly calling for citizens' assemblies, and we're going to have a mass assembly this afternoon where people together can deliberate, discuss the big challenges and come up with proposed solutions and ways forward. Yeah, so this afternoon we're holding a mass assembly which is based on the principles of citizens' assemblies, where we're going to discuss together ways forward on the climate and ecological crisis. Citizens' assemblies have been used really successfully around the world to tackle big, challenging, controversial issues which governments seem incapable of dealing with. So in Ireland, a citizens' assembly was used to look at issues around abortion and gay rights, and managed to forge a way forward where politicians had failed to come up with any solutions or progress. And we really believe that citizens' assemblies could be a way forward for the UK and elsewhere around the world to look at taking really radical, rapid, transformative action on the climate and ecological crises. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Extinction Rebellion live stream. We are here at Windsor. We're on our way to the castle, to the Long Walk. It's the second day. Process. Oh yeah. What's the name? Well. Am I right? That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm here. 1 sec, I'm just sorting out my headphones.
I'm still connected. Yeah, it could be a free recording.
Okay.
Can anybody talk to people? I'm a bit harder. I think I can hear. Oh, we're on it. We're on.
We on? Hello, welcome to Extinction Rebellion live stream. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are here in front of the castle at Windsor, Windsor Castle, where we are delivering letters from rebels to the king to tell him that we are here to support him in his mission to hopefully make people more aware of climate and ecological breakdown and the fact that we need to do more, and it is much, much more urgent than our government will currently have us believe. So whether or not those letters are going to be accepted, we're not sure. We hope so, but obviously there's lots of security issues and things like that. But we hope that the king is aware that loads of people in his country are extremely concerned about the climate and ecological emergency, and that we really need him to be brave and speak out. Even if the government are telling him not to, we say ignore them. They are not adequate. They're not doing what they need to do. They've just approved airport expansion at City Airport, and we know that we are right here in the flight path of Heathrow, and we know that the aviation industry is dying to put a third runway down at Heathrow Airport as well. So this is extremely urgent. The people here in Windsor are extremely concerned. Well, this is one of King Charles' own residents, so he must know the crisis that we are dealing with. At the moment, we've just got some dancing going on behind us, and over here, people are waiting, gathering, and talking to each other, getting to know each other, and finding out more about what is happening over here as well. We're not sure what's going to happen with the pink post box, but maybe let's walk down to the pink post box and show that to you as well while we're walking through this crowd. Oh, and let's talk to a member of the public as well. So sorry to disturb you, but we're wondering if you would speak to the XR live stream.
Yes, sure.
So what's your name?
It's Helen Skilton,
Well, welcome. Where have you come from?
Brighton.
Ah, from Brighton. You with the Brighton, XR Brighton?
Yes, that's right, Brixton Brighton.
And what made you come to Upgrade Democracy? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, normally, because I'm part of Brighton XR scientists, we normally do loads of models and projects showing about the various effects and the tipping points that we're all worried about. So we usually have those models. So we thought we'd do something for the fun fair, the F Unfair. Unfortunately, we haven't had time to do anything, so I'm come along to see what other people have done and to learn what other people have done. I think there's been some fantastic creative ideas out there about, how unfair it is, and how basically, for me as a scientist, is the way the media is not listening, or the politicians. It's all geared to what the politicians are saying, and that is not scientific fact. That is, so for me, it's a very, I feel as though we're in a sort of Orwellian environment at the moment. It's getting more and more so, and the only action government seem to be doing is obviously just increasing what you cannot do, what legally you can and cannot do for protesters and things like that. And I think you already know about Roger Hallam and conspiracy theories and things like that. So yes, as I'm feeling I am just a science teacher, and I'm feeling a little bit downhearted about avoiding science by the media in particular, because technology and science creates so much wealth and helps the potentially so much, but of course ignores the things they don't want to hear. And
it's interesting that you say you're a science teacher. What do your students think about the situation? Do you feel like they're concerned about what's happening to the planet?
the younger ones in particular, yes, I actually teach or I have taught adults, and I have taught younger ones with special needs. Yes, and it does seem to be definitely the younger generation. Yes, more and more and more, I think.
More the younger generation, you think?
I think so, yeah, definitely, yes.
That's very interesting.
They know it's a fact, but maybe that's Brighton, but they know it's a fact. Yeah, we do. So I don't have to teach them that.
Yeah.
So, we just do the details, the scientific details. So, yeah. So.
Well, amazing. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for speaking with us as well. And enjoy the rest of the day. Will you be going to the Mass Assembly later?
Definitely. I think this is great. I hope everyone else can join online. I think it's a fantastic idea, and let's get it moving. Yeah. I do. I think it's great.
Brilliant. Well, we'll see you later. Thank you so much. Right, so you heard it from a science teacher. Young people know what's happening. It's the older generation that seems to be the problem. And we hear that from more people, where the young people are totally on it. They're already aware of climate breakdown. They're already aware of what we should and shouldn't be doing to our planet. And it's actually the older generation, the generation of people who are in fact sitting in Westminster making decisions about our lives and about the lives of young people. They are obviously not letting themselves be informed by the science. They are not listening to the actual facts, but they are listening to fossil fuel lobbyists. They are listening to large corporations who prioritize profit over people, profit over the planet. And that is not what we need at this point in time. So we'll try and do a little swivel here. First of all, we'll show you that side where we are literally is the entrance to the castle. Lots of police presence here. And then if you swivel to the other side, you'll see our pink mailbox right over here, which contains letters from all sorts of rebels, including lots and lots of children who have written to King Charles. We'll let you have a look at the postbox first. So as you can see, here is the post box. And loads of letters are in there with hopes and dreams from rebels, from children, from grandparents. All sorts of people have written to confirm their concerns, their worries, their fears about climate and ecological breakdown, but also the current political system and how it is absolutely failing us in terms of climate breakdown, in terms of ecological breakdown, but also the many other issues that we are facing: inequality, racism, war, genocide, all these things that are just down to a system that is failing people and planet. So yeah, but we'll get out of the way so that people can take photos of this amazing post box, with obviously our Upgrade Democracy owl perched on top there as well. So. See the Palestine flag?
Oh my God! Stop it! Stop it!
I can't. But where are the rest of where are the press team? Hello. Yeah, we just got. Sorry, Don. Where?
He's a founder of Extinction. Okay, my darling. Okay. Why are you trying to gatekeep this? No, it's not. No,
you. We're Mayday Morris. Okay. Oh, hang on. Okay. Do you want one more? Yeah. Tomorrow. Cookies next. All right.
Okay, we're doing cookies next. Okay, let's just take a moment. There's a lot of aeroplanes here, right? Not a lot of birds. This morning I got woken up by aeroplanes and I was, and then I just heard one bird and I thought, well, there's one bird in Windsor. So I'm very happy for that one bird, but I wish there were more. So we're going to do this one. It's called Cuckoo's Nest. We're going to do it for the birds.
It is a campaign to improve the democracy which we have in this country, because at the moment what we have is an exercise in putting a cross on a piece of paper every several years. And the moment you've done that, you more or less lose contact with democracy, the democratic process. The democratic process is taken over by those our so-called representatives, who may very often enact legislation, for example, which is not what we would wish them to do. Repressive legislation, for example, which we're seeing more and more of now. And what we are doing here is trying to refresh democracy, to bring democracy back to the people where it belongs. It comes from the word demos, which means the people, the rule of the people. That's what the original Greek means. And we don't mean mob rule, we mean something much more sophisticated than this. We mean that we have an informed democracy, that we the people, we speak together, all of us, we don't exclude people, we have everybody, and that so long as everybody is reasonable and wants to make progress and has goodwill, we can come to decisions on various issues, and then we can feed that back into the system. Which is not a dictatorship. It's a deliberative system. So we put a lot of thought into some matter. We, in our different groups, we come together and share our ideas. So there's a filtering process all the time that happens. So we eventually have what we, the people, consider to be the best ideas. So we're not really going to object to them, because the ideas came from us ourselves, the mass of the people. And then those ideas will be fed to politicians, and there will be a system whereby politicians are required to respect the will of the people, and that they will look at these decisions which come from this democratic process, from our citizens' assemblies, which are very well organized, very well supervised. At the moment we're living in times which are very fraught. We have a climate and ecological crisis.
which is an existential threat to us. We have apartheid going on. We have a genocide which is taking place, or several genocides which are taking place. We have a lot of issues which challenge us as human beings, which ought to be uniting us and bringing us together. And we need a democratic process to do this. And it needs for us not to leave it to the politicians, but for us to come together as people in this civilized democracy, to speak to one another, to converse with one another, to support one another, and come to really the best decisions we can, which are not based on the adversarial system which we have in Parliament at the moment, where you get people, two sides, braying at one another, which is really what we want to move away from. We want something which is far more deliberative and careful and thought, and which suits the people. So at the end, the results are not a shock to the people, but actually what the people want.
At the front of Windsor Castle, it's amazing that just the interplay of all the people here walking around being tourists and the amazing space that XR holds here. It's a really friendly meeting place. Some people are interested in each other, but we're both in our own worlds. It'd be amazing if we could sit down together. That would be the part that would put the magic in. I don't know how we do that, whether we put out big picnic rugs and champagne, invite people over. But for now, a smile and a wave is what we're all trying as stewards to help everybody inside the bubble stay safe and everybody in passing around in the public stay safe. Yeah, it's a lovely, really enjoyable environment, and it's lovely to say hi to you guys.
You're
life?
Yeah, my name's Paul. I'm with Extinction Rebellion. I do the protest liaison with the police and authorities and the council. And we're here in Windsor to really protest about the state of UK democracy. I think everybody has really been turned off since before the Brexit vote, really. They've really been turned off from democracy. They don't feel involved. They don't feel that they've got any power. And that is the actual case, because even if you elect an MP that you believe in and they go into Parliament, they then are subject to lobbying. Millions of pounds from the oil companies go in and they change government decisions. So, you know, it is about time that stopped. It does not represent working people. And here in Windsor, a big issue, because I've been coming here for 3 weeks now, talking to the local people, just to let them know that we're not here to disrupt, we're here to make a point. And they're very concerned about the expansion of Heathrow Airport. They're really concerned about that. There was one landlady, she gets up in the morning very early, because she's a pub landlady. She listens to the birds for 5 minutes, and then the airplanes start flying over. And it gets into their subconscious, you know, it really affects how they feel. And for that to be expanded is a massive thing. Plus you've got air pollution, you've got housing that's going to be knocked down in order to make way for it. So nobody wants it. And deliberative democracy, having a community assembly to really show what the people think about Heathrow expansion. So today we've got the mass assembly down on the Long Walk, where we're going to demonstrate to people how you can change the way that we do democracy and make it fairer for people.
Can you hear me, Peter? And Marianne's going to be doing masks, so she won't be available. She's going to be doing some podcasts, apparently. No, I think there's quite a few people who could be interviewed, but I don't know. Can you actually speak to Mazza or the? Can you communicate with them at all? Yeah, see if you. Okay.
Amazing things there, lots of tourists all the time, but really now moving on towards the focus on the mass assembly. So we've left our Upgrade Democracy postbox behind with some letters to King Charles in it. Of course we've got lots of experts guiding us on our way here as well. But the next experts we need are the ones about the Citizens' Assembly. We'll hear about that in a community assembly this afternoon. It'll be online too. If you're watching this, looking up online the mass assembly. I know that's being curated online as well as in person this afternoon. I've got start time for that. So look up the mass assembly on the Extinction Rebellion website. Coming now around, this is a massive castle. We can see it from our camping field. We've walked for an hour sort of slowly through the streets to get here. We're still walking around the other corner. We're going into the long walk next. And there we'll hopefully have some lunch. It's a big skip, isn't it? XR organisation. And after that, they'll be setting up, giving out tags and that. I think it starts at 2 o'clock here on the ground. Sign up to all that online. The mass assembly, chance to talk about what it would take for democracy to make an absolute breakthrough instead of relying on the parliamentary system and showing the cracks how little we can do to make our progress on this issue. We have got a new government, arguably better. We have just expressed our opinion for 5 years, but not good enough. We need to now take the hand, grasp it, so that we get a citizens' assembly because everybody wants to know we're all in it together. That's what the citizens' assemblies do for us. So, I think I can't put it any better than that. We're good to go. We're going to have our mass assembly. Join in, sign up, get on there now. Looking at the camera, I'll tell you when he comes to you.
Hi, I'm Dirk Campbell. I'm here with the XR mob in Windsor Great Park. We're just assembling for lunch. We've had a big long procession to Windsor Castle. We've delivered the post box, pink post box, amid great aplomb and kind of the afflatus of kingship in front of Windsor Castle. And yeah, it's been a very successful day. We've had a good turnout, I would say. The weather god's been smiling on us, so it's not too hot and it's not been raining. And yeah, it's lovely to be with all the people here. It's a groovy vibe, as people of my generation would say.
Why do you think we need to change democracy or change what's going on now?
Well, now there's so many things wrong with this democratic system that we have. It's not truly representative. It more represents the interests of big business. Government provides infrastructure and facilities for big business, not for the average people. And also there's a concentration of wealth into the hands of the already wealthy by means of the economic system that we have now. That really should change, and it's not going to change because the interests of the middle class, the lower class, and even government itself going further and further into debt because of the way the system that we have works. We need to upgrade it so as to iron out all those faults and defects and redistribute wealth, as well as the most important thing, which is to free the countries of the global south who are being shackled by enormous amounts of unrepayable debt, which are imposed on them by World Trade Organization, World Bank, and other commercial banks.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, would you be interested in saying a few words on the Extinction Rebellion live stream?
Yes.
Okay, if you hold that about a foot from your face, something like that, maybe a bit closer. Okay, would you, right, if you hold it about there, okay. So, Sue, why are you here today? Why have you come to join us today for this day particularly?
Well, because it's an opportunity to say what we need to what needs to be said, which is that we have to do everything we can, all at the same time, all of us, whatever we are able to do, to say that this is the most crucial emergency that we've ever faced as human beings. And so whenever there's an opportunity to make that voice heard, then I would like to be part of that, to be joining with it and to be having my voice heard.
You've been arrested many, many times, haven't you? Did you spend any time in jail at all, or you managed to avoid that?
No. Why don't you interview her? She's done so.
Okay, in a minute. What do you think of the turnout today?
Very poor indeed. Pathetic,
Maybe
in fact.
You shouldn't have said that.
Absolutely pathetic.
Right.
Where is everybody? I mean, I don't know. How many people would you say is here?
How many times have you been arrested, Sue?
I was told recently 27 times.
27 times.
Whether that's so or not, I don't know, but that's what I was told.
And why are you doing it as a member of the clergy?
Well, because this is God's world, God's planet, God's cosmos, and God must grieve more than any of us over what has happened. Through one generation, as we were talking earlier, in billions of years of this planet has been coming into existence, and in one generation, or perhaps two, we have managed to destroy it, because probably we have managed to destroy it.
Is there anything else you want to say today, Sue?
Well, I would say that everybody that can hear anything that we're going to put out today, please join us. There is so many different ways we can take action.
And of course we're here tomorrow as well, aren't we?
And tomorrow, yes.
You with us here tomorrow?
No, I'm afraid I'm not, but it's a wonderful weekend that XR's putting on, and I wish there were the numbers that Restore Nature Now March had in London and the previous big marches. But anyway, I mean, all strength to XR's arm. This is what we have to do. We have to keep on keeping on.
Okay, so your friend here has been arrested. Shall I pass the microphone to her? So what have you been arrested for?
Oh, hello. Yes, just various actions to protect and defend the creation, really, in various ways.
Yeah. What else can I ask you? Any notable things you've been arrested for, would you say? Any big action?
I was first arrested in 2008 when I was sitting and praying and singing in front of the gates to King's North Power Station when the government at that time was planning to build a new coal-fired power station. So we won that one, they didn't. So that was a really good thing.
King's North in Kent, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've been at this for a while. It just seems the right place to be, right? You know, we're heading, obviously, and what do we do? We all have to choose what we do at this time, and just destroying creation is a good place to be, I think. And that's what this is doing that as well today, and it's calling for a solution, the solution, certainly part of the solution to the problem, and that is to get ourselves a democracy that works for these times.
I hear you founded Christian Climate Action. Would you like to tell us a bit more about that?
Well, yes, I mean, I've been campaigning on climate change for many years. I first heard about it when I was reading chemistry at university more than 40 years ago. And so I've known about the climate collapse, and I've been campaigning on it for many years, and it was just running away from us, as the head of the UN has said. So I just wanted to do everything. At what point do you not do everything that there is to do? You know, do you come to the point of saying, right, it's more important to follow the law of the land than to protect creation? I mean, obviously not. Obviously, it's more important to protect creation. So that's why I went beyond what the law of the land seemed to say, even though for me, of course, I would always say, I mean, for Christian Climate Action, we always say we don't break the law because we have a higher law that's more important. Protecting life is more important than adhering to the laws of the land.
We've got this plane above us at the moment. A little bit noisy. So did CCA start before XR?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, we're older than. Gosh, when did we start? 2012, 2013, something like that. Yes. Yeah.
What brought you along today?
Well, I wanted to be part of this. Yeah, this is a great thing to be part of, and yeah, it's a shame there aren't more people here, and people can come tomorrow, so do come along.
So you've been arrested many times. Have you done any time in prison at all?
Just a long weekend, yes, not very, just on remand. Yeah.
But you wouldn't be afraid of going back for your beliefs?
In this country, it's not, you know. Yes, I mean, I would if I thought that would make a difference. Absolutely, yes. And I'm ready to do. Yes, obviously, that's the viability of life on Earth is more important than one life, when a few months in prison. Yeah.
Right, shall I go? Okay. I don't know. Right. Would that be? Oh, right. I've seen someone here who was arrested on a recent action at the last cut the ties action. Would you? I do love these banners here. Could I just interrupt you?
Yes.
Come back to us.
Okay.
This transition, I think, to looking at liberty and democracy is actually a really big step for Exile to think about being involved in this, making time for us to really turn our minds to it. So this gathering today will give us an indication of how we think involved with it. And that's a very important thing because people are really, really concerned about democracy works at the moment in this country. It's been so skewed the way that power is held. And actually, all my life I felt that I haven't really been involved in it and haven't been interested in it particularly until you kind of discover why that happens and how that happens. And it's the way that we are, our kind of input is really controlled. But where communities come together, things can happen. But we need this to happen at a much higher, bigger level where decisions are being made that actually affect our lives.
Right, I'm talking to a rebel here who's been arrested on a recent action. Do you want to tell us a bit about that? That was at Policy Exchange, wasn't it?
Yes, so we're at the Policy Exchange. I was with a group of women who went inside to occupy the Policy Exchange lobby. We went in, nicely dressed, quiet, peaceful, introduced ourselves to the people at reception, and there with our banners, people coming in and out. And then we were arrested without any, warning, without being asked to leave, and taken and held in custody and interviewed, and then given the most draconian bail conditions. I have to inform the police 7 days before I don't sleep at home, and this is for peacefully sitting in a lobby. But the lobby was of the Policy Exchange, where they obviously receive money from the oil and gas industry to create policy to go straight to the government. Rishi Sunak was rather boasting of the fact that the policy exchange had a lot to do with their anti-protest laws. So it does seem rather that, yeah, there was a hand in that in our rather draconian arrest and now bail conditions.
Being arrested is no stranger to your family. Your daughter has been taking action so many times and doing so many different things, hasn't she? What's she up to at the moment?
At the moment, she is about to start to do a law and criminology degree. So we'll be correcting any mistakes that her lecturers may make on procedural details. And also does a lot of support for other activists to help them through the law process. So, yeah.
Right. Anything else you want to add today? What brings you along today?
Today, I'm along today because I think it's very symbolic out here by the castle. King Charles has obviously in the past done a lot for nature, and we would like to thank him for that. And obviously it is more difficult now he's the king, but you know, he needs to fight like the rest of us, and he needs to fight against the restraints imposed on him being the king and keep getting things done. He can do a lot, and he needs to be seen to be doing a lot.
Yes. Anything else you want to say, or should I go and try and find someone else to talk to?
I think that's probably my lot. Bye.
Thank you very much. It's a bit noisy today here with the planes and the samba. We got the samba over there. Oh. I see we've got Essie over there. We might go and have a word with him at all. Right.
Can you hear when it comes to you?
I'm alright, yeah, I'll just speak into that.
And you're live. You're live,
yeah. So yeah, I'm here just outside Windsor Castle. We've just delivered letters to Windsor Castle and to Prince Charles, asking him to get more involved in, I suppose, changing how we respond to climate change. That the response that we have, and we know for the last 5 years, has just been terrible. And I don't know, it's just really, you just see it all the time, that whatever we ask or the changes that are needed, they just don't happen, and that system is stuck, it can't change. So the system needs to change, we need to upgrade democracy, and that's what we're here. It's great coming back together again as Extinction Rebellion and meeting old faces and new faces. Yeah, it's just been a nice thing to do, but a really important thing to do as well. Yeah.
What does XR mean to you? Have you met people?
It means a set of values. It means a better part of human nature. It means focusing on the bigger picture of what's important. And kind of, I suppose, touching with how we feel about things ourselves and managing that emotional journey. You know, not kind of denying what's going on. So it's about like-minded people connecting with that, and I feel like I've filled my cup, you know, these last few days in doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us where you are. What's going on?
Well, I'm Sophie. I'm part of Scientists for Extinction Rebellion, and I'm here with the whole of Extinction Rebellion in front of Windsor Castle.
Really?
Yeah. This has been a major seat of power for hundreds of years, and it still is a very strong form of soft power. And King Charles has expressed over the years, before he became king, his strong support for environmental issues. And we would really like him to use that soft power to follow people's will, because it's very clear that people want very strong action on climate change. really help us and pass that on to governments. The thing we'd like to change, really, and why we're here, is that the parliamentary system that we have in the UK puts all the load and all the weight on politicians, a very small number of politicians, to know what needs to be done and decide what needs to be done on so many different issues. And the climate and biodiversity crisis are huge in themselves. And so it would make much more sense to separate that out and have a great cross-section of the UK population learn about the key science and other factors behind the issues and decide together what they'd recommend to the government to do about it. That way, everybody would be involved, people could listen to it online or on TV, and people would be so much better informed in a much more structured way. And then proper decisions could be made. Because at the moment, we only get to listen through a terrible filter of our media run by billionaire moguls who follow their own interests and corporate interests rather than the people's interests and the future of our country. And they don't even seem to care about their own children with what they hype about. So we need to bypass that, and the idea of citizens' assemblies, which is what I just talked about, has been used in many situations and in Northern Ireland, and it's made great decisions over really contentious issues. It's the perfect mechanism for contentious issues, and it brings in experts to help inform people in an impartial way. I just can't wait until we can have a new democratic system where the people get more involved.
Yes.
Oh, are you up for an interview?
We can get him tomorrow. It's fine. We had Paul yesterday. I think, to be honest, Zoe seems
Go for it. Just hold that and there you go. Tell us what's going on.
Hi everyone, we're in Windsor. In front of me there, I don't know if you've seen it already, is this enormous great castle, sort of historical seat of power in this country. And we've gathered because the governance system, not just in this country, but globally, isn't working. We have this idea that, that democracy is all about the will of the people, and it's all about making sure that everybody gets a say in the decisions that get made about all our collective futures. Unfortunately, that idea that everyone really gets a say is just nonsense, because while we do get to vote every now and again, there's no actual diversity of choices, is there? The major parties are all pushing for further oil and gas, despite the fact that the majority of people in this country, as polls consistently show, want us to rapidly move away from fossil fuels, and they want the government to be doing more, but that's not happening. So, something's very broken there if all the scientists and all the government's own advisors are saying you need to move away from oil and gas. Most of the country wants us to move away from oil and gas, and that's not happening. So clearly there's a massive fault in our governance systems, and what that fault comes down to is the power of private interests. So private capital, oligarchs, and particularly really destructive industries, oil and gas primarily, but other destructive industries too, construction, agribusiness, agrochemicals, all of these, they're all spending vast amounts of money on political lobbyists to influence governments, to actively corrupt the democratic process so that decisions are made for the benefit of private interests rather than for the benefit of everyone else. George Monbiot has a really interesting term for this. He calls it the polluter paradox. So basically, the dirtier an industry is, the more it has to spend on lobbying and political donations to avoid getting regulated out of existence. So, you know, lots of the money in politics comes from the very dirtiest industries, and we end up governing for the benefit of the very dirtiest industries. And so our system's broken, and happily there are solutions. So, you know, some of the greatest minds in political science have been spending a long time trying to work out how we're going to get out of this broken system, and they've come up with solutions, really exciting tools, and the most exciting of those is participatory democracy. So, you know, choosing a sample of people that's representative of the whole population, getting them to consider the information from experts in the absence of, you know, media disinformation and the absence of corporate lobbyists and think tank disinformation. And people get together, they deliberate, we get the wisdom of crowds, and as a result, we come up with better decisions. So this is a really exciting system. It's not the Extinction Rebellion system. It's, you know, it's the most exciting development in political science, and it's being used all over the world. We're here today to practice participatory democracy ourselves. We're going to have a mass assembly starting in about an hour or so. If anyone's, you know, within an hour of Windsor, do come down. It's going to be a special occasion, a slightly historic occasion. The atmosphere is fantastic. It's been such an honour for me to have such a wonderful sign interpretation. Thank you, I'm really grateful. Do come down, it's a wonderful day.
Thank you. Yeah. We are joined here by Indio today. Indio, welcome to the live stream. We'll just get the British Sign Language translator, interpreter to come and join us. 1 second. Indio, welcome to the Extinction Rebellion live stream. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm very happy. It's my first day because I couldn't come yesterday, but I'm with energy and happy to be here.
So you've got a special mission here as well. You've got a letter with you, and you're working on a special campaign that we're going to be talking about much more over the next few weeks. Do you want to talk a little bit about what it is that you're doing?
Yes, I have a letter here for the King and for all the British citizens. It's about Mass for the Global South and the participative democracy. Because what happened is there's two standards for the mining. It's one standard of how the mining companies work in the global north, and one standard how they work in the south. And on top of that, they supervise themselves. So basically, in the global south, they do whatever they want to do. On top of that, the bilateral agreement treaties that this country have signed with the countries in the global south put first the inversion. So it's most important the investment than the communities and the nature. And where it's a conflict between the locals that they don't want mining of gold, coal, petrol, or any of the natural resources, investments have priority. And for example, in the case of Colombia, that have local communities have decided they don't want gold mining with Glencore. Now Colombia have to pay millions of indemnization to these companies for the money they didn't produce, not for what they have done.
So basically, because the Colombian government are saying to Glencore, we don't want you to mine here, they now have to compensate Glencore.
Yes, they have the right with this contract. They say they have to, they can claim for the possible owning, not for the money they have invested, it's for possible earnings, so the loss of earning. And all that is because this country have signed treaties with Colombia that I say the investments is more important. So our petition is for the British citizen that we have an opportunity now in the COP16 that is happening in Colombia, COP16 for biodiversity, and we want the British government to discuss that at COP16.
So essentially what you're saying is that there is an agreement between the UK and Colombia, and because of that agreement, Glencore can basically
I could pre-record with my good mic and then upload it to the Telegram chat.
More important than life, and we need to change that system. Life is more important, biodiversity is more important.
Absolutely. So COP16 about biodiversity is happening in October, I believe. And so this is your message to the British citizens, but also the British
I'll restart, but
delegation
if not,
who will be
I could
representing the
pre-record and
UK
upload it for you
at
to
the
just
COP
drop in.
to say this law or this agreement
Okay.
has to be scrapped. It's unacceptable.
Yes, the terms have to be changed. It's a window
Okay.
have to happen in October
I'll
between
stop and
Colombia
start, see if that's
and
better.
the UK, but that will be very important because if Colombia and the UK do that agreement, it could be applied to another countries and other treaties around the world. Yeah. So that's the letter 4. So here's the letter, you can scan and sign it. We hope to have it ready for October, so they will be discussing in Cali, Colombia.
And how can people watching the live stream, how can they get involved? How can they support you?
Yes, this is a QR code for the page. You can go scan it and then put your details. We're asking citizens, but also organizations to put their names to the letter. We need to do that within the next 2 weeks. So then we'll come take it to the government and take some support about that.
Yeah. And we'll be sharing the information about the letter and how to sign the letter on XR UK website, on the XR UK social media over the next few weeks. So do keep an eye out. I believe a broadcast has already gone out or will be going out on the Rebellion broadcast as well to tell you where and how you can sign the letter in support. But we will be doing a lot more promotion on this after we get this weekend over and done with, because we're quite busy, but you'll be speaking tomorrow as well. A lot of people ask us, what is climate justice? I think this is a typical example of climate justice, right? Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, well, we talk about sustainability, yes, we talk about look at the environment, and we cannot talk about sustainability if we don't talk about social justice, yes, and that people in the global south have the right to dignified lives. It's very interesting. I invite everybody to come to Colombia because there you see communities that live very simple lives. They don't need much. The only what they want is to have the rivers, the soil, the life, and close to nature and happily, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah, yeah. And it feels like a lot of decisions that are being made, a lot of the stuff that we consume here, a lot of people don't realize the immense impact that's happening on people in other countries. And that is very much what climate justice is about, is that we take into consideration the impact we're having on other people as well.
Absolutely, it's this subject that we have to address is the growth. We need to consume less, we need to use our clothes for longer, we need to really look after what we have, not just this consuming that we just all the time buying clothes and spending money. We really need to save in all aspects, and that would be very important.
Yeah, and clearly from what you're saying as well, we need a government that enforces trade deals and treaties with countries that are fair for the people in those countries, not just for the CEOs sitting over here in the City of London.
Yes, well, absolutely. This is a complete exercise of democracy, because what we want to achieve is that COP16 is the people's voices that are being heard. Because we don't believe in COP16 because the COPs, because we know that they're going there just to make business, and we need to change that. Yeah. So the challenge is that this COP16 change and that we get our voices heard, and that be more democratic participation.
Yeah, definitely. Indio, I wish you so much luck with this. Obviously, we'll be supporting this as much as we can. I'm so glad you've taken initiative to do this, and let's hope that the British delegation will listen and bring this to COP16 in Cali in October.
We invite you to come to see we're doing some work with the colleagues, so I invite you to come.
Perfect.
Before we go to Zoe, just have a close-up of this.
We're just going to have a look at the letter now so that people can read it. And also, I invite all of you watching, if you're in the area in Windsor today or tomorrow, do come along and come look at some of this amazing artwork. We'll be filming that later on the live stream as well. But for now, I think we're going to go and listen to Zoe, who is speaking to someone.
Hi, I'm Elaine, and I'm stewarding today. It's the second time that I've come on to XR March. Did the Restore Nature Now March back in June. 60,000 people all uniting for nature. Today it's for climate. It's for thinking about future generations. As a mother and a grandmother, it's what I care about most, because the younger generations will be the ones picking up the brunt of the kind of pollution or corruption that's gone on for decades, way too many decades. So please support. It's for the future for everybody. Thanks for watching.
You come next.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a biologist. Today, XR is coming together in Windsor, and it's been a lovely occasion. The next time XR is coming together will be in the October half term, and we're going to target the insurance industry, which is facilitating oil and gas projects around the world. British firms have a very unique role in insurance, and so without them, just oil and gas projects cannot go ahead. It's a very cautious industry, and so we really hope we can shake them up. They really work on, it's really important to them to get things right, and we really hope to hold their feet to the fire. That's the October half term, so the week starting 28th of October. We will be gathering in the City of London, but also you can participate around the UK, in your hometown or from home. There are lots of ways to take part, so watch out for that. Thanks a lot.
Well, why did you get involved in XR?
Why originally? It's clear to me that social movements are a crucial part of change in society. I guess what I see from, I see finance, not only insurance, but big businesses as central sort of decision makers in our time. It feels like governments are less and less able to hold them to account and regulate, and so the vote that we have is less and less invaluable, and so going to the sources, going to the centres of power and trying to disrupt is crucial. In particular, I feel like political disruption can be extremely effective even without mainstream or even without majority public support, and this works by puncturing the motivated ignorance of these privileged decision makers. They know that the environment is being destroyed. They know that the air and the earth and the water are being poisoned, but they are shutting that out. They are sticking with their lives as they currently are, because it's easy, because that's what they've always done, because those are the structures that are already in place. So we need to try and disrupt that motivated ignorance by just forcefully making the point to them, to making the point in a way that they cannot ignore. That's social movements through history have been important in that kind of process.
Do you have a message for the people watching?
Get involved. There are so many ways. You can get involved at home. You can go and meet people. You can go and there are so many things you can do. I guess there are lots of ways to contribute, and I would say the most important things are to be outside of your comfort zone. These times, they are very, very dangerous times. The times of great change, you must be outside of your comfort zone. Second of all, if you're working towards change, do it with other people. So work collectively. Find other people that believe what you believe and work with them.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Hello,
see there's some amazing stuff. I just want to show you this as well. There's this incredible artist here. We'll show you afterwards. But he basically is doing portraits of rebels, and as he's doing the portrait, he's writing down what they're telling him as well. So they tend to tell him like why they became a rebel and how they came to join XR. And he's doing these amazing little books. And Zoe will film that for you in a moment as we go out. But there's just so much incredible creativity going on here today, and yeah, we're just slowly getting ready to start the mass assembly in about an hour or so. So we're all going to have a little bit of food before, and then we're going to get ready to do some deliberative democracy in action, which is so exciting. So it's been an amazing day already. We'll do this. See what's going on here. And using that to potentially help people. So as we can see, someone's being interviewed here, and while she's talking, he's writing it down, and he's also drawing them. And there's lots of books with examples of rebels already having had their portraits done with little stories about them. So yeah, just an example of some of the awesome stuff that is going on here today. So yeah, from us here on the long walk in Windsor, thank you so much for tuning in to the XR live stream. It's been an amazing day already. We're going to have even more amazing stuff happening when the deliberation starts. But for now, we're going to have a little bit of a break, and we'll see you again tomorrow where there's another day of Upgrade Democracy. Thanks so much.